U/Michael DJ54 asked Reddit, what movie was so bad, you didn't even finish it? Welcome to AutoGenLabs, daily Reddit content, by robots, for the internet. Suicide Squad is one of the rare movies I actually fell asleep while watching it at the theater. Live action Mulan, WW84, I loved the first one and wanted to like it so bad, do sad face. Cats. The Emoji Movie, Matrix Resurrection, can't remember the names of them. Majority a Netflix beat. The Artemis Fowl Movie, big fan of the book. First movie in a while I turned off in the first 30 minutes. The Eternals, I was bored of the first Avatar, with the blue people. The Dark Tower, tried to watch it twice, fell asleep twice. I'm sorry to everyone that enjoyed it, but Napoleon Dynamite movie came out when I was 14 and I hated it. I left the theater and never went back. I've seen clips and stuff since, but I credit that movie for my dislike of cringe-styled comedy. I got 4 episodes into the Rings of Power before I turned it off. The pacing was just way too slow and uninteresting. Thor, Love and Thunder, I liked Ragnarok, but that movie was so unfunny and the screaming goats were so annoying. I give movies about 20 minutes and if I'm not interested I turn them off. It's okay to not finish a movie. Life is short. The Rise of Skywalker, The Last Airbender 2010, X-Men, Dark Phoenix. Not surprising, but one of the later Transformers. My friend and I wanted to watch it and rip it apart. But it was so bad it wasn't even funny. Maybe the 6th one, with the boss with the car collection. Magic Mike XXL. I hardly ever don't finish a movie, but this was so beep and boring that I just couldn't continue watching. Anchorman 2 was horrendous, especially the part when Brick and that girl just start screaming at each other. Got up, popped it out of my Blu-ray, and returned it to Redbox immediately. Elektra, the makers knew they had a stinker because it was edited down to 60 minutes and made no sense. It was Jennifer Garner essentially playing the same character she played in Alias but with magic or something. Walked out of the cinema. Not a movie but the new Willow beat so bad I knocked out of it within 15 minutes and googled, is the new Willow trash? 50 Shades of Grey. No, the beat stuff didn't bother me. I am far from a beat. But this movie in my opinion was just dumb. I made it through like the first 45-ish minutes and gave up. Battlefield Earth. Aloha. It was increasingly painful to listen to Emma Stone talk about how she's native Hawaiian and a quarter Asian. Master of Disguise. It was rough watching Dana Carvey play a teenage Italian boy. Live action Lion King. Most Netflix movies. Thor Love and Thunder. Turned it off after they showed the beep of dumplings. Wasn't funny or clever or anything. Just, oh yeah, let's put a CGI cartoon dumpling in the audience, beep it, people will watch this beep. Morbius. How did it ever get released? That beep Sherlock Holmes movie with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. I love those two together but that movie was embarrassingly bad. I was bored to death on a plane and still turned it off, lol. Suicide Squad. Lake House with Sandra Bullock. Absolutely ridiculous. Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow. Live action Death Note. I think it was called Abraham Lincoln. Vampire Hunter. We walked out of the theater about 15 minutes in. Recently, Hocus Pocus 2. Boyhood. The novelty of the way this movie was created didn't make it any less unappealing. Avatar. I fell asleep inside 10 minutes. Love Guru. Black Adam. I got 8 minutes in. I just can't do the DC movies, the acting is just so bad. Most of the new Marvel movies. Thor, Doctor Strange, etc. Officially realized I've outgrown Marvel and just stopped before Black Panther, haha. Disenchanted. Thor Love and Thunder. Batman vs Superman. Tenet. It came out September 2020. My boyfriend and I were desperate to get out of the house. It was the perfect setting. We bought VIP tickets in the theater. So we had our own comfy love seat to cuddle on and could buy drinks from the bar. We had the entire theater to ourselves. Something I'd never experienced before. Despite the privacy, comfort, and desperation to be somewhere not home, we left the theater early, about halfway through the movie. The sound quality was so bad we could rarely understand the characters, much less follow the plot. It seemed like the director's drive to make the sound as obnoxious and loud as possible. We decided to ditch just in time to grab dessert to go. No regrets. Secrets of Dumbledore. Got up and left the theater. The remake of Red Dawn. Rob Zombie's remake of The Munsters. Turned it off after 20 minutes. Napoleon Dynamite, or however you spell it. Marvel's The Eternals. I think it's the only movie I've ever watched without being able to make it through. No matter how bad a movie ever is, I can usually find something about it I like. Whether it be the visuals, a specific actor outshine everyone else, or unintended comedic value, I can always find something I enjoy. The Eternals had none of that. The movie was eternally boring and it is the first movie I ever fell asleep watching. I have never in my adult life fallen asleep watching a movie. But Eternals has lulled me to sleep all 3 times I tried to watch it. I might get hanged here, but I fell asleep at The Revenant in theater. It's just not my cup of tea. I never don't finish a movie. Cats, Bright and WW84 all came dangerously close. Walked out of Elvis. Can't believe the reviews it got. It's like we didn't watch the same movie. Couldn't finish The Irishman either. You don't mess with the Zoan. The only movie I have ever walked out of was The Country Bears from 2002, which nobody remembers. House of Gucci. Who the beak they hire to play the brother with the Nintendo Mario accent and completely flat jokes and bland dialogue. Oh, that's Jared Leto. WTH. Meet the Spartans. Worst film ever. Dumb and Dumber 2. The most recent one with Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels. Didn't even make it past the first scene. 6 Underground. I literally fell asleep like 3 times and that movie felt like it went on forever. Maybe this unpopular but Joker. I have tried watching it 3 times and every time I have gone to sleep in just 10 minutes. The Interview was just so bad. Human Centipede. Absolutely the worst horror movie ever. Filled with cliches and bad special effects. Yet it is considered a classic because of one scene. Hocus Pocus 2. The Ghostbusters remake. Doctor Strange. Multiverse of Madness. I couldn't stand that teenager's acting skills. It was absolutely horrendous. Elizabeth Olsen still makes me cringe after Age of Ultron. Horrible Russian accent. Plus something's off with Benedict in this movie. I don't think he cares anymore. I walked out of Pearl Harbor. My entire group of about 8 friends all thought it beep and we walked after about a half hour. Eternals. 365 days. Lost my interest after first 20 minutes, only watched the beep scenes then and skipped. Everything Netflix has ever made. Stop or my mom will shoot. I love both Estelle Getty and Sylvester Stallone, but the movie was awful. They had no comedic timing and the entire thing was just badly written. Spring Breakers. Only movie I ever walked out of the theater before it ended. Happened today. Sucker Punch. Beep, what an utterly ridiculous movie. Made it to the scene with the giant bazooka minigun samurai and knocked out. Rolling on the floor laughing. I wish I could say downsizing. But I sat through that entire miserable piece of beep. Live action Ghost in the Shell. Hillbilly Elegy. Turned it off after 20 minutes. Euphoria. Borat. Star Wars. The Rise of Skywalker. Absolute dog beep. The Invention of Lying. It's so try-hard and poorly written. Ted. They Will Ferrell Sherlock Holmes movie. Utter garbage. Cats. I will go to add I'm a furry. After 10 minutes of that movie I couldn't stomach it anymore and watched South Park instead. That awful Seth MacFarlane Western. I'm normally a fan so I gave it an hour, which I think is about half the running time. But beep, it was dull. Really hard to make a movie with too much Charlize Theron in it, but he somehow managed it. Suicide Squad. I hate it. Suicide Squad. Cloverfield. First and so far only movie I have walked out of a theater, it was so bad. I think I made it 25 minutes. Alita. Battle Angel and #X200B. I know others who loved it but my friends and I just couldn't get into it. We found the pacing terrible. The acting seemed wooden and even cringy at times and the plot went all over the place. We walked out about halfway through and we just went to grab a coffee instead. Fast 9. The last movie I can remember was that Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield where the electric guy said, "It's my birthday, let's light up this cake," or something. I'm all for corny lines and love bad movies, but when the budget is $800 million and there's like 7 minutes of angsty skateboarding while a Coldplay song drones on and on, I lose interest. Spider-Man No Way Home. I know loads of people loved it but I couldn't stand it. Jack and Jill. Though to be fair it was one of my first dates with my now BF, so we got to bond over beep on the movie. Blues Brothers 2000 Romeo and Juliet with DiCaprio 3000 Miles to Graceland Caddyshack 2. Batman and Robin. Turned it off when they pulled out the Bat credit card. This is 40 inches and I generally love Paul Rudd movies. Wife and I saw it in theaters and we walked out after over half the other people already had. That movie was really bad. White Chicks. I walked out the theater, couldn't justify wasting any more of my time. Star Trek, the motion picture. Star Wars Episode 2, The Starving Games, parody of the Hunger Games. Disenchanted. Halle Berry's costume was the only reason I got through Catwoman. The Many Saints of Newark. Whatever happened there? I'm only on going to say this once. Cats. Tenet. I've tried 7 times now. Can't get past the first 30 minutes without falling asleep. Still surprised that Christopher Nolan was hard pushing everyone to see this movie in the theaters. At the height of the pandemic. The Aladdin live-action movie. When Will Smith started singing at the very beginning, I shut it off. I've never stopped watching a movie so quickly before. Not a movie but a series. She-Hulk. It was bad from the beginning. I stopped after she started clapping. The Beat live-action Avatar The Last Airbender. Does taking a nap during Black Adam count? Me time. The Jesus rolls. Thanks for watching. This has been an AutoGenLabs production. That means that this video was created by a robot out of content on Reddit. We show all account names and list them in the description to credit the Redditor community that makes our work possible. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to our channel. We post new videos every day. If you have any suggestions for videos you would like to see, please leave a comment. Our human department for public relations reads all of them, or won't be let out of their cages again. Goodbye.